What's wrong with you?
They just shot at point blank range. Yeah, they did.
While the nation's eyes are on protests across the globe in places like Cuba, right here in Los Angeles, protesters in support of transgender rights on Sunday were fired on by police using rounds of less than lethal weapons at a terrifyingly close range. I'm Caroline Johnson, thanks for being here. Video after video shows the LAPD engaging in violence against protesters outside of Wispa, a popular Koreatown destination at the center of controversy, after a video posted on Instagram in June showed a woman confronting a staff member about having seen, quote, a man with a penis in the women's changing area. Although that video might very well have been a hoax, it led to right-wing demonstrations protesting the spa. The counter-protesters in support of transgender rights have been met with violent backlash from those far-right anti-trans community members. The demonstration for transgender rights was brutally shaken up by the police. The officers destroyed transgender flags and also harmed medics on the ground. Angelenos, as far as 2 miles away from the demonstration, got emergency alerts for an unlawful assembly, a tactic used by police to retroactively arrest anyone in the area continuing to cause disturbances, whatever that may mean to the LAPD, despite First Amendment protections for the right to assemble. This dispersal order led to 39 arrests. Under California law, it's illegal to discriminate against transgender and gender nonconforming people in business establishments, meaning that transgender women are entitled to use a women's facility, and to Wispa's credit, they stand by their inclusive policy. Soon after the video in question began to go viral, members of the trans community began to raise questions about it, and these early doubts have been bolstered by local reporting that the police suspect it was a hoax. Hoax or not, the event highlights how the right has weaponized transgender existence to a terrifying degree. Evan Urquhart writes in Slate that anti-trans activism is often thought of as a sideshow or a distraction, but these events show the real dangers of an increasingly extremist anti-trans backlash. In this case, an uncorroborated suggestion that a trans woman was using a woman's space ignited a protest that resulted in violence. And that there was likely no trans woman there to begin with only underscores how thin a pretext is needed to prompt these sort of outbursts from the far right. Trans people and our allies should not ignore the growing anti-trans sentiment in this country. While many liberals are fixated on Trump's ongoing affairs, cops are brutalizing peaceful protesters on the streets of one of the most progressive cities in the country. This begs the question, where are Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer? And heck, even AOC? How can we spend as much energy on dissecting the protests in Cuba and be silent when it comes to the violence on our own streets? Tony Pierce on Twitter pointed out that the framing of the article on the LA Times website leaves much to be desired, with no video of anything that they claim in the story, no accounts from the victims of police beatings, no accounts from those who saw any of the events occur, and with plenty of quotes from the LAPD. Public sentiment about over-policing changed drastically last summer during the uprising, but the question still remains as to when our lawmakers are ever going to do anything about it. Until then, it's hopeful to see people still out on the streets despite the immense danger they put themselves in. Thanks so much for watching. You can follow me at CaroJohnson917 on all platforms.